What's going on, guys? It's Rudy the Realtor. I'm here with my boy Brian Santana.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Who spills all the details on how to get exotic vehicles. My boy's only 27 years old, owns a couple of Rolls Royces, fucking McLaren, a Hellcat. So y'all definitely got to tap in on this fucking video.
Yeah, man. Y'all make sure y'all give it a like. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. Tune in to Heavy Hitters.
I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, appreciate you, bro.
What's going on, guys? It's Rudy the Realtor here, and I'm with my boy Brian Santana, owner of Premier Exotics of Atlanta. And this guy's only what? How old are you?
I'm
Brian?
27.
27. Okay.
Yeah.
And look, I've been following you on Instagram for a while. You got some really nice cars. You have a McLaren. I've seen a couple Rolls Royce on there. What is it that you do? And how is it that you've gotten these cars at such a young age? Because I'm 28 myself, man.
Right.
I'm driving a Lexus, and I think I'm something, bro. Like,
Nah, man.
You're on a different level, my guy.
Hey, man, you just got to stay motivated, man. So pretty much I was doing detailing at the age of 18. And, I was doing detailing. It wasn't working out. I was just working to pay bills. It wasn't something that I enjoyed. So I came across an opportunity where someone was trying to sell their car. So I told them, hey, how much do you need for the car? They're like, hey, I need $3,000. So I'm like, okay. I detailed the car for them for free. I posted the car for $4,500. That same day, someone came and bought it for $4,000. So I made $1,000 in one day, like a couple hours. And that's pretty much how I got started in the car industry.
Okay, so you made $1,000 at the age of what, 18, 17?
It was around 18.
Okay, and you're only 27.
Right. I was doing detailing at 18.
Okay.
I didn't even do a whole year of detail because it was just being out in the sun, trying to get clients to come let me wash their cars. It was just too much work for the pay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I ain't gonna get rich like this.
So it's like, all right. So it's like, how did you go from that to, I just saw you pulling in a Rolls Royce. How the hell did you get a Rolls Royce?
Man, well, I just kept grinding, man. $1,000. I took that $1,000, I put it back into the game, into buying a car for $1,000. I bought it for $600. I think it was a Kia Sorento. I bought it for $600, brought it home, and listed it, shined it up. You know what I'm saying? I posted it for $1,600. Someone came that same day. They came, gave me $1,600. They were crying about it, like, hey, you know what? We changed our mind. We don't want this car. So they were like, hey, we'll give me $1,000 back. We'll give you the truck back. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much got the truck for free at that point. So then I resold it again for $1,600. And that time they didn't come back. You know what I'm saying? They were happy with the truck. And that's pretty much how that one sale.
Okay. So you started from detailing cars into like flipping cars. When you started flipping these cars, how did you come across these vehicles? Did you have like a broker's license? Were you?
Well, I went on Craigslist. You know what I'm saying? They had at that time, they had some apps called OfferUp, 5 Miles. I signed up with those apps. I went ahead and started looking for deals on there. You know what I'm saying? I was like one of the few first ones on OfferUp and 5 Miles. And I would come across cars just publicly. You know what I'm saying? And I'll resell them to the public as well. And that's pretty much how I started just getting my own cars. I ain't need no auction. I ain't have no excuse to not sell a car. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna find a car, I'm gonna sell a car. So I just went on Craigslist, OfferUp, 5 Miles.
All right.
And that's
so I'm sure there's a lot of people that like want to do that, but they're like, well, I'm not a mechanic. I don't know what's wrong with the vehicle. It's like, did you have any mechanic experience? Like, how is it that you felt comfortable like flipping cars at such a young age? Because that's a lot of capital. That's probably like majority of your money.
Right. Not most definitely. I mean, I already had experience in selling my previous car. Okay. So I already knew how the whole process of selling the car was. Just getting the title, signing it over to the customer. You know what I'm saying? Bill of sale, and that's pretty much it. So I already had that experience as far as how to sell a car. And that's pretty much how, I got to sell that first car. All
right, so you started flipping cars. Did you get this capital from just detailing cars, or did you get this money from like your parents? So you come from, family with money? Like, how did that work?
Well, I didn't get the money from my parents. My parents actually are hard workers. You know, they were always trying to provide for me and my brothers. And my mom and my dad actually got divorced when I was around 14, 13 years old.
Okay.
So, you know, I never really had my dad growing up as far as, you know, teenage years. So I pretty much was my own, you know, role model, if you could say. My mom was the one providing and stuff. And
where'd you grow up at? Did you grow up here in Georgia?
yeah,
Atlanta?
I grew up here in Atlanta, Georgia.
What part?
Atlanta, up by Austell.
Okay. Mableton, Austell area.
Right. Yeah, by Six Flags and stuff. And that's pretty much where I was raised.
Dang, that's crazy. So you made this capital happen just from flipping cars.
Right.
All right. And so what is it that you do now?
Well, I just pretty much, so I went from retailing cars, you know, to the public, selling them to the public, to pretty much wholesaling cars. So that pretty much means I just wholesale to dealerships, you know, Chevrolet.
Okay, and what does that mean though? Like wholesaling? Like, what do you mean by
Wholesaling, well,
that?
pretty much just moving volume. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm giving them a better deal because they're going to turn around and resell the car, you know? So now I got to look for better deals that they can turn around and actually make money on the car.
So like a dealership will hit you up like, hey, Brian, we need this type of car, and you'll go ahead and find it and then sell it to them for a higher price.
Right. So that's brokering actually. I do that as well, but my thing is I look for deals. You know what I'm saying? If it's a deal where I could sell it to a dealership and make money, I'm gonna go ahead and cash them out. You know what I'm saying? I usually focus on people that are behind on car notes, repos. You know, they're in the process of about to get their car repo. So I say, you know what? Instead of it messing up your credit, why don't you let me just take over the payment, you know, take over the car. I'll pay off the car, you know, and I can just get them out of that problem, and I'll turn around at the auction and make $3-4 grand on the car. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you have access to this information?
Well, I pretty much just by word of mouth, you know, people just say, hey, you know, I know somebody that can get you out of that car note. You know, if you're trying to switch it up, you know, you got to go throughout the whole 24, 72 months, whatever the loan they gave you. But instead, it's like, okay, well, I'm tired of this car. You know, I can just hit up the official Santana, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let him just buy my car. You know, I only owe $8 grand, you know what I'm saying? I want to switch it. I want to get something else, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want it to ding my credit. So at the end of the day, I just...
Okay, you know. So you went from detailing cars, now you're flipping cars. And I recently saw one of your vehicles like in some music videos, you know, one of them being Cap G's music video.
Right.
So how'd that come about?
Well, you know, I do rentals as well. You know, photo shoots, video shoots, you know, even if they want to go out, you know, get dropped off somewhere, I got that chauffeur service as well. And, you know, that's pretty much how I came across that music videos, you know, that shoot. And my boy Ma was the one that actually told me, hey, you know, I got a video with Cap G. Can you pull up with 2 cars? You know, I'm like, all right, cool, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And we made it happen. You know,
that's dope. And let's talk about the fleet of cars you got for rent. So, if someone wanted to rent a car from you, what options do we have?
Man, well, I have everything from economic cars to luxury cars. You know, Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, you know, Mercedes, you know, even the lower luxury cars. We got a little bit of everything. Corvettes, C8s, you know, everything you could think of, we kind of got it. You just got to, you know, hit me up and I'll give you the price and stuff.
That's crazy. And do you have partners or is this just you?
No, it's just me.
Bro, how the fuck are you doing this at the age of 27? You got all these fucking cars. I literally found this guy because he was selling a property over $1 million over in Carrollton. And it was a really nice property. He was offering to sell a razor, a side-by-side with the property. Right. So I was just like, bro, like, how are you doing all these fucking money moves? And if you don't mind me asking, how much did you sell this property for?
I sold the property for $850.
$850. Okay. And how much did you buy it for?
I bought it for $600.
Wow. Okay. And how long did you live in the property?
I lived in it while I was fixing it up because I bought the property with the house halfway done. It was not complete. So I went ahead and fixed up the property, you know, put concrete. It didn't have no concrete. It was all gravel. So I laid concrete. I fixed up the house and I lived in it for a whole year while I was fixing it. Yeah. And then I decided, you know what? It's just too much maintenance. I'm like, I'm cutting grass every 3-4 days, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you only have like fucking 16 acres. You know?
Right. So, you know, so I'm like, man, I gotta just make a better decision here, you know? So I'm like, well, I can sell my property, you know, it's I can bring about 1.2, you know, but At the time, I had some cars that I was trying to pay off because, I had some credit. And I'm like, man, the money will probably be a better fit to just go ahead and get rid of that.
And you still made a $200,000 profit, which isn't bad. And why did you decide to live in Carrollton? Were you from Carrollton or was it?
Nah, so out here in Atlanta, you ain't gonna find an acre. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nowhere near Buckhead, nowhere near Atlanta City. It's you might find a couple acres, but it ain't gonna be no 16 acres. And have a whole 7,000 square feet warehouse. With 2 rooms in it. Shower. I mean, it was just not gonna be here in Atlanta. So I went out 30 minutes from Six Flags. To pretty much find this property.
All right, and let's keep it a buck. You're 27. You're pretty fucking young. Mexican American. What part of Mexico are your parents from?
Guerrero.
Guerrero.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of Santanas from Guerrero.
Yeah, man.
So, are you married? Do you have any kids?
Yeah, so I'm married and I have 2 kids. I got married at the age of 21.
Shit.
Yeah, man. So
tell me about that, bro.
Man, it's great, man.
Where were you when you were 21? How'd you meet your wife? How'd you know your wife was the one? And how was it like having children? Because I had my first son when I was like 19 years old. So I know how it is having kids at a young age, you know what I mean?
Right.
But tell me that timeline. How did that go?
Man, well, I got with my wife now, you know, and we met around when we were like 13, 14.
Oh, wow.
But we didn't hook up until we were like 17.
Okay.
So we got together, and throughout the whole 2-3 years that we were together, it was like she stuck with me throughout everything. You know what I'm saying? If it was a struggle, she was there. If I needed some money, she was there, you know what I'm saying? So she was always there for me, you know what I'm saying? When I ain't have nothing, you know what I mean? So that's before I even started the detailing, when I was doing plumbing, getting paid $16 an hour. And I'm like, man, you know what? I want better for myself. I'm going to quit this job and I'm going to go ahead and get this detailing stuff going, man.
Gotcha. Okay. And so what about like at what age did you have your first child?
I had my first child at 21. At
21. That's pretty young.
Yeah.
So
man.
What were you doing at 21?
At 21, I was already doing the car stuff. I was already in the game. I was making $30,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? Selling cars in the streets.
Damn, at 21, you were making just flipping cars.
Right. Yep.
Damn, and you were just fine. Were you like a fucking dealer, or were you just flipping deals on Craigslist and Facebook?
So pretty much how it played out, I was selling cars, buying them from Craigslist, buying them from 5 miles. You know what I'm saying? And then turning around and selling them. So then I had a car that I actually bought. It was a Honda Accord. I had bought a Honda Accord, and I had my guy. Shout out to my guy Raymond too. He came out and looked at the car, and I'm like, he's gonna buy the car, whatever. But he's like, you know what? I don't want the car. He called me. He pretty much didn't want the car at the time.
Yeah.
And he called me a week later, like, hey man, I still see you have that car. If you want, I'll help you sell it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool, man. So that same night, he called me on a Thursday night. And the same night that he called me, I went ahead and said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and quit. I was still working. So I went ahead and quit my job and just pretty much started going through the auction process, going to auctions with him, helping him out for free. I wasn't trying to get paid from it. I just wanted to be in that environment, like know what the cars are selling for, be in the auction field, like, okay, just kind of know what's going on out here.
So people with a dealer's license.
Right. So he put me under his dealer as a rep, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So I was working for his company, helping him move the cars. So I was going to auctions with him, buying cars with him, helping him move his cars. And I was just getting familiarized with what was going on, in the auction field, And then I sold my car that I had, I sold that Honda. So I had, $2,500 to play around with. So I'm like, hey, I'm in here, I'm helping this guy. He bought a little Chrysler 300. It was a Chrysler 300C, like a 2009, 2008. He bought it for like $2,500. I said, you know what? I got the $2,500. Let me go ahead and keep that one. He's like, oh yeah, go ahead, man. So I bought the car. I put it on Manheim, on pretty much digital. He's like, man, you know what? We're going to take some nice pictures of the car and we're going to post it online. You know what I'm saying? So we did that. We had the car sitting. We were at another auction when he's like, man, your car just sold. I'm like, what the hell? My car, we had another auction. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, it sold, man. You sold it for $3,800. I'm like, damn, just like that, just by buying a car, knowing the value, then it's like, okay, you can still turn around and sell it at an auction and still make some money. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to do your homework and make sure that that deal is right, and you're going to make money. You know what I mean?
So you went from detailing cars to flipping cars. How the fuck is it that you own a fucking McLaren, a Rolls Royce, a fucking Hellcat? Because that's a huge cat.
Right. Nah, most definitely. I mean, it's not going to be overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 10 years. And, I mean, you know, just pretty much building, you know, that profit that I would get, I'll put it back into the business. I wouldn't go out and buy some shoes. I wouldn't go out and buy me some nice outfits. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to run it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, my capital is the only capital I got. I got to make it shake.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm out here investing my money that I get. I'll reinvest it. You know, if bills is due at that time, I'll take from the profit, boom, pay whatever's due. But we gonna keep reinvesting that money. You know what I'm saying? So from $1,000, I ran it up to like $400,000, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So like at what age did you purchase like your first exotic car? Because like McLaren, Rolls Royce, like Hellcat, like this is on a different level. Just like at what age did you purchase your first like real nice car?
Right. I would say at the age of 23 years old, I bought my
so
first
pretty
car.
fucking young, bro. And what car was that?
That was a Rolls Royce. You know, I'm a Rolls Royce fanatic,
You bought a fucking
man.
Rolls Royce at 23 years old. Man.
Right.
Wow, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, man.
And do you still own that Rolls Royce, or what did you end up doing with it?
You know, I buy them, I sell them, you know what I'm saying? And I just, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a dealer. I can buy whatever car I want. I ain't gonna fall in love with the car. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me though, like I'm pretty fucking young myself, I think. Who the fuck put you on this shit? Like, yo, this is what you gotta do. Like, because at 23, buying a Rolls Royce, bro, that's unheard of, bro. Like,
Right.
especially a fucking Hispanic male, bro. Like, come on. That's crazy. So how did you end up doing it?
Just pretty much, you know, just staying focused, man, you know, grinding. And, you know, once they got to that certain point where I'm like, man, you know what? It's time for me to really buy myself something that I want. You know what I'm saying? It was really for me. I bought a Rolls Royce, you know, and then I'm like, you know what? While I'm driving it, I'll go ahead and, you know, list it online, see if I can sell it. So then I went ahead and sold it. And I'm like, man, so I could just be buying cars that I actually want. You know what I'm saying? My dream cars. So that's when I just started going in and buying whatever car I actually wanted at the time. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna just buy one at a time. You know what I'm saying? Sell it. If it sells, I'll go on to the next one. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much how I did it, man.
That's crazy. So how many businesses do you own now?
I own 3.
3. Okay. Can you name them and what they are?
Yeah, so pretty much I have one that's rental. It's Premier Exotics ATL.
Okay.
And then I have Santana Remarketing, which is pretty much wholesaling cars, you know, doing all that stuff. And then I have the Airbnbs.
Okay. And how? All right. So you started off from cars. Now we're talking about Airbnbs. How the fuck did you get into Airbnbs?
Well, when I bought my property, you know, the property that I just sold
In Carrollton.
Right. I already had another property that I was currently living in.
Okay.
So that property, I'm like, well, you know, I need to do something with it. So I went ahead and said, you know, I'm not gonna find a tenant because it's not gonna make me no money. You know what I mean? I want shit that's risky where I'm gonna be able to make money. You know, I like taking risks, man. So you know, I went ahead and put it on Airbnb. I furnished it out, fixed it up, you know, and I did Airbnb. And I already did it before in the past, but it didn't work out. They stole everything. I furnished the whole house, put brand new TVs, beds. I put a whole studio in it, you know, put PlayStations and all kinds of stuff, man.
They stole that shit.
And at the end of the day, you know, the first rental that happened, man, they stole all the TVs. They took all the PlayStations, the whole studio setup. I mean, everything was gone. I'm like, damn, this is a sour taste. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped it for a whole year. And then when I finally bought my property that I had just sold, I'm like, you know what? It's time to just go ahead and give it another shot. What if, you know, it's not going to keep playing out like that? You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? Let me let the sour taste go. I'm going to go ahead and just give it another shot. And I did. And I mean, it's been going great ever since, man.
Okay. And what about like for the average Joe? Let's say like myself. Like, I want to get into that business, bro. I want a fucking Rolls Royce. I want a Rolls Royce. I want a McLaren. I want a fucking Hellcat all at the same time. what do I have to do to get into that business? Like, what do I have to do to get those cars?
Man, I mean, you just gotta, if you like to flip cars, man, I mean, just keep stacking up that money. You know, if you get $1,000, put that 1,000 back into the game. You know, buy another car with it, and just keep saving that money, man. And at the end of the day, you're gonna have like 100 bands in your bank, you know what I'm saying? And then with that 100 bands, it's gonna turn into 1 million. You know what I'm saying? 1 million gonna bring you another million. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much, because I ain't learned credit, you know what I'm saying, till I was actually already doing the whole car stuff, you know, playing with my own money. And then I met a dealer that's like, you buying cars with your own money? I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm paying. He seen me paying cash, and he's like, man, just put that cash in your bank, you know, start flowing the money through the bank account, you know. And that's when I went ahead and, you know, started putting all my money through the bank, you know, having deposits. Deposits are really important for you to get business credit, you know what I'm saying? So as a business owner, you got to make those deposits constantly, you know what I'm saying? Because they look at those deposits. They don't care about how much money you got in the bank. They care about how many deposits are coming through. You know what I'm saying? So that's the key, man. I mean, just running money back through your bank.
So like when people are trying to buy a house, you know, they look at your tax returns. So like with the car business, it's not like that. They're not looking at your tax returns.
No, they're not looking at your.
They really just care about your deposits once you're a dealer.
Right. Because you know they got these programs, the jumbo loans and all these programs that are specialized for business owners. You know, so and then they got the bank statement loans. So I went with the bank statement loans because at the end of the day, I was already generating money, cash flow through my business. You know what I'm saying? I was bringing in $200,000-300,000 every month. So, you know, after every single month goes by, they look at the 12 months. I got approved based off of 12 months. They have the 24 months and they got 12 months. Yeah. So based off 12 months, I got approved for 1.5.
Damn, dog, you're pretty smart. You know, you did your research on this shit.
Yeah, man. So, you know, and then I started getting into the whole credit, you know, following all these credit gurus online, you know, getting information from them and even paying people, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you got to spend money to actually make you some money.
No, for sure.
So, you know, I would spend money, go buy these Airbnb courses, go buy these credit courses, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I learned a lot from it, you know what I'm saying? It was money spent, but shit, I learned from it, you know what I'm saying? So,
all right, let me ask you this, and keep it a buck. You know, a lot of my guys that have made money, you know, they ended up like leaving their original girlfriend or wife. How was it that you stuck with your wife? Because you said you met her in high school, right?
Right. So I met her when I was pretty much, we didn't even meet at school. We met at a party. Okay. And, you know, I mean, the key was just, you know, she was there with me when I was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I already knew when you know, when it gets right, when times get right, you know what I'm saying? She's going to be the one that's going to stick with me. Because, you know, at the end of the day, when you start off having all this money, you're going to find girls that want you for the bread. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you for who you really are. So, you know, me being that young and us meeting at that age, you know, I ain't really have shit at that time. You know what I'm saying? So, that's pretty much what you know made me stick with her, man.
But that's pretty fucking impressive. So it's like at this age now, you know, you got a lot more bread, you got these nice cars. It's like, how do you stay loyal, bro? Because I think that's very hard for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Right.
It sounds like a simple ass question, but at the end of the day, bro, like it's not easy for a lot of guys. Like now you drive these fucking nice cars. You got the designer on. You got the friends that are doing X, Y, Z. So it's like, how do you stay loyal with them these times? You know what I mean?
Man, just, you know, staying loyal, man. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, she stuck with me when I ain't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? She was loyal when I ain't have nothing. So at the end of the day, I'm going to return the favor when I got some. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how it is, man.
That's crazy. And how many children you got together?
We got 2.
2. You want any more?
Man, I'll go for the 3rd one, man. Yeah? I don't have a problem having the 3rd one. So, you know what I mean?
And she wants more kids?
She doesn't want more kids, but because she's the one always taking care of them. You know, I'm always running around, handling business and stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Well, that's what's up. So what does your day consist of? Like walk me through your day. Like, what do you do when you wake up?
Man, I chill, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the house. You know what I'm saying? If I got to run to the auction, turn in a couple titles, I go down to the auctions. You know, auction about 30 minutes from my house. Yeah. You know, but other than that, I live a normal life, just chilling, bro. I don't, you know, stress out unless I have like headaches coming up, like as far as cars being returned down at auctions. But other than that, man, I just chill out, bro. Man. Yeah, just chill out, man. I try to travel as much as I can with my kids, especially right now that, they're out of school.
Yeah.
Definitely trying to travel a lot. Man.
Okay. And what about your parents, bro? Like, what do your parents say about you?
Man, well, they're proud, man. I mean, it's like, they didn't expect me to come out the way I came out. Back then it was like I was hanging with the wrong people,
Yeah.
And it's like you learn from those type of things. You got to go through things to actually have that experience. And it's like, okay, well, I know that that's not right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you learn from those things, man. And just like that, I mean, I say, you know what, it's.
And you grew up in Cobb. What high school did you go to?
I went to Pebblebrook. For 9th grade. Wasn't going to school, hanging with the wrong people. And so my mom was like, you know what? I'm going to send your ass down to Augusta. My uncle have a uncle down in Augusta.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, she withdrew me from school. That's when I knew it was serious, like, damn, she withdrew me from school. I know I'm gone, I was only like 16, 15, 16 at that age. So I left out to Augusta. I ain't know nobody out there. It was like 3.5 hours away.
Yeah.
So, I was going to school out there. She's like, I'm gonna only send you for 3 months, go to school, do your things right, and I'm gonna bring you back. So, time passed. I was doing good. 4 or 5 months passed. I'm like, man, I'm still in Augusta, you know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what, it's time to go ahead and just make a move and try to, just start now, man. So I told my mom I'm quitting school. I ain't graduate, you know what I'm saying? So I had one of my boys, Junior, shout out to Junior. He came out with one of his friends to pick me up. From Augusta, they drove out 3 hours. I'm like, man,
Damn.
You know what? You come out here, pick me up. I'm ready to go back to Atlanta. And that's me without having a plan. It's just like, man, I just want better. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start now. I'm just wasting my time at school. I don't like school. It's not my thing. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much how I ended up back in Atlanta.
Oh, that's crazy. So no college experience. Fresh out of high school, you're detailing cars. You started flipping your vehicles. You end up getting a Rolls Royce at fucking 23. You're 27 now. That's fucking wild, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I mean, that's, just grinding. Like I said, just staying motivated, staying focused. At the end of the day, I wasn't out going clubbing. I wasn't out partying. You know what I'm saying? I partied when I was 13, 14, all the way up to 16. You know what I'm saying?
And you met your girl back in high school. So it's like, at what age did you settle down with her?
Well, I settled down as soon as we got together. You know what I'm saying?
Which was at what age?
17.
Really?
Yeah, man, 17. So, I just been just grinding, man, just stacking it up, trying to provide for the family, man.
Damn, well, that's what's up. And what is your other family, like, outside of your close family, say about this?
Man, well, I mean, they just like, I've actually sold a couple cars to some of my family members. So they proud of what I've done with my life, you know what I'm saying? Because the way they had the image of where I was going to end up, it was nothing where I'm at right now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm pretty sure they proud of me, man.
Okay. And so, like, where do we see you in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Man, shit, in 5 years, I think I'm gonna be living in Dubai, man. To be honest with you, it's the safest place out there. Your kids can literally walk out at 12 at night and I have no issue as far as them coming back. You can leave your car keys on top of the car and ain't nobody gonna take it.
And what about for someone that's trying to do the exact same thing you did? What advice would you give them?
Man, really just stay focused, man, and just save your money. Don't go out spending it on reckless things, clothes. And I mean, obviously get your clothes, you know what I'm saying? But don't go out spending $5,000 on an outfit when, you can actually make it a better investment. You know what I'm saying? Invest that $5,000 into a car that can make you $7,000, you know what I'm saying? And then you turn that $7,000 into $12,000 and then, you just keep stacking it up, man.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if we talked about this already, but what vehicles do you own? Can you name that?
Yeah, I mean, I own a couple cars. You know, they're all for sale to wholesale dealers. You know, to dealerships and stuff. I own from economic cars, from Chevy Cruises to you know, Hondas, to all the way up to McLarens, Rolls Royces, Lambos. You know what I'm saying? I sell a little bit of everything, but those higher end cars is things that I want to buy for myself. That's like I know I can sell it. You know what I mean? But that's pretty much the type of inventory that I carry.
And are you on tour road too? Like, can people rent out your cars or?
No, so it's more of a private company. It's you know, Premier Exotics ATL / Hyper Clutch with my partner Benji. You know what I'm saying? So we got a little bit of C8s, we got Lamborghinis, Urus, you know, we got Rolls Royces for rent, and we also do you know, chauffeur services where we chauffeur them around if they got to go to their proms or to any weddings or whatever they got to do. We also provide that.
That's what's up, bro. That's crazy, and props to you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Because you've done a lot at such a young age. At 27 years old, bro. That's what's up, man. I look up to you, bro, and I'm older than you.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
So hopefully everybody that's watching this video can take away something from this, because this guy's only 27 years old. He's fucking selling properties that are over close to $1 million and driving Rolls Royces, McLarens. Props to you, man.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
All right, so at 27, bro, like straight up, how does someone get these cars that you had? Like, how do they get credit for it? Do they need business credit? Like you know, give us a tea.
Most definitely. I mean, you need to start off first off with your personal credit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get nothing if your personal credit fucked up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you having cash flow coming in, you first want to get that cash flow coming in. You don't want to go out and get credit and then you go and ball out. And then now you stuck with these cars and where the payment's gonna come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just gotta stack it up first, you know, do some flips on the side, you know, run your money up. Once you feel comfortable, then you can go ahead and play with other people's money. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that cash flow is gonna get you other people's money. You ain't gonna get other people's money when you ain't got no money. You know what I mean? So you gotta.
So you talked about that. You said when you went to Mannheim, these fucking car auctions, you were doing it on your personal credit, and someone approached you like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing, Brian?" Like.
Right. You know, like I said, you know, just meeting the right people. You know, you got to network out here, because if you don't know the right people, you're just gonna keep making these decisions yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you have someone that actually knows what they doing, they have already done it. You know what I'm saying? They already have that experience. So some guy came up to me. I was paying like 10 grand buying a car, buying 2 cars. I actually bought 2 cars at an auction, and he came up to me. He's like, "Man, you really paying cash for these cars? Why don't you have floor plan?" You know what I'm saying? If you know you can sell those cars, why don't you have floor plan? It's called floor plan auction credit. And I'm like, man, you know, it ain't even my company. You know what I'm saying? I can't even make those moves. So after grinding up, stacking my bread, you know, I went ahead and just opened up my own dealership. And at that age, I'm like, you know, I already have my money flowing. I opened up my own spot, and then I went ahead and applied for auction credit, you know, once I opened up my spot, because I ain't just come in opening up my spot. You know, when people come in the game with no experience, they just opening up a spot without even actually selling cars. It's gonna be tough, because you're gonna have rent at that spot where you paying for the lot. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have an office, or you either gotta have a lot, and you're gonna be spending money, and it's not gonna be making you no money.
Well, I appreciate you having you on here, Santana. You know, it means a lot. You're 27, bro, making moves out here like nobody else has. You're Hispanic, bro. You don't come from rich parents. I think that means a lot. And if you don't give yourself a pat on the back, I think you should, bro.
Hey, man.
Because it's big, bro. Like, for real.
Right. No, I appreciate it, man. For real. I appreciate you having me here, man.
No, nothing but props, bro. I think you're a heavy hitter, but
Hey, appreciate you, man.